Hello everybody, my name is Chase here, and I've realized that I am severely out of shape. I just play way too many video games. It's getting quite ridiculous. I just spend every day on that classic Madagascar grind. I need exercise. But not to worry, I've got something to help with just that. Thank God I'm not playing those damn video games anymore. Oh shit.
For many years, people who play video games have held the stereotype of being fat single losers who drink Mountain Dew and eat Doritos.
I mean, I have other hobbies.
That was just what the lowdown was for many years. It makes sense, playing video games is all about sitting in one spot and moving your thumbs around. I wouldn't exactly call this recreational. However, this would see a shakeup in 2006 with the release of Nintendo's new console, the Nintendo Wii. The system that would pioneer the use of motion controls. No longer could you just sit in one place and push buttons. You had to get your fat ass up if you wanted Link to swing that sword. And ever since the console's debut, it's been debated whether or not the introduction of motion controls was innovative, or just one big gimmick to make the console stand out against the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3, given it was severely underpowered compared to them. I mean, motion controls wasn't a new concept. Nintendo was just the first company to not only make major strides in it, but dedicate an entire system to the idea. And listen, I love the Wii, and it houses many of my favorite games of all time, but even I'll admit that this thing is basically just another GameCube with more jazz hands. That doesn't mean I dislike the motion controls, as there were great games that used them in really interesting ways. They really made playing games on the Wii feel more fun and fluid. And then you remember that like 2 games did that. They really tried so damn hard to convince people that this gimmick was worth being forced into every game on the system. And I think Nintendo realized that pretty fast, because besides the major releases like Mario, Zelda, and Metroid, games for the Wii were made and marketed towards a more casual audience. And it definitely worked out, with the Wii being one of Nintendo's best-selling consoles they ever made, with over 100 million units sold. A major contributor to this was with the Wii fill-in-the-blank series, as I like to call it. You know the ones. Wii Sports, Wii Play, Wii Music. Games that were made for a more casual crowd. Like, no offense, I just don't think your grandma is playing games like Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. No, she's breaking a hip trying to bowl a perfect game. I had pretty much all of these when my family got the Wii in around 2008. I think we were all chronically addicted to Wii Sports Bowling at the time, come to think of it. Like, yeah, it's a gimmick, but at the time, this was the coolest shit ever. Just the idea of pointing the remote at the screen was cool. I don't have the original game anymore, but I do have Wii Sports Resort, which if you ask me, is just a better game. Fencing was just too enticing. But my parents also got us Wii Fit, and looking back on that now, I don't know if that says more about them or us. Either way, it's not good. Nintendo's attempt to keep their player base in shape, and judging by Pokemon tournaments, I don't think it was successful.
But fuck it, it's either do this or go to an actual gym. Why would I do that when I can do this?
Now, in order to play Wii Fit, you're gonna need this, the Wii Fit Balance Board, which is used to track your center of balance while you play and give you an eating disorder. Now, I've had this thing in my possession for over 14 years, and you can definitely tell just by looking at it, but I was shocked to find out it still worked perfectly. And to be honest, the actual board itself works well too. Like, pretty much any issue I had with the game didn't have to do with the balance board, and it read what I was doing as well as I could expect. The only annoying part about it is that there's no way to hit confirm on the board itself, so you still have to use the Wii remote occasionally, which is an odd design choice the more I think about it. A lot of these exercises require both hands too, so there's a lot of picking it up and putting it back down. Some games even use only the Wii remote, and to that I say, we really couldn't figure out other ways to use this thing. Okay, whatever, I'm here to exercise, not complain, so let's start this shit up. First things first, we are greeted by the Wii balance board itself, as it gives us a run through on how the game works. I only had 2 Miis on this console made, unfortunately, so my guy for my Wii Fit career is going to be this handsome young gentleman, McScooter. The old Scoots Magoots is then told about how bad people's posture is these days.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Since this is a fresh file, I had to go through all the calculations they do to get a sense of who the hell is standing on this board, which leads us to the body test. Alright, let's see, I input my height, age, and birthday. Okay, simple enough. I actually decided it's my goal to gain weight. I don't know how I'm gonna accomplish that. Maybe I'll eat a burrito while I exercise, I don't know. And then we move into the balance test. Here we use the board's balancing to hit the targets, which I admittedly found kind of fun, even if my center of balance could probably use some work. But after all the tests are done and calculations have been made, I get my results.
God damn it!
The entire idea of putting your weight on the TV for everybody in the room to see is horrifying enough, but to be called morbidly obese is a whole other level. They either didn't think this idea through or they thought way too much about it. For anybody who actually got upset by the results like I did when I was young, I wouldn't worry about that considering that it told me I was a different weight every single time I stepped on it, so I don't think it's that accurate. Apparently I'm in my 30s already. That midlife crisis is inbound.
Never mind.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that this has got to be the meanest video game ever made. Every time they ask you to get on, they say,
Step on. Oh.
like, holy shit, you're even tubbier than the last time you got on this thing. The music when you don't do very well is so fucking sad. They make you feel like shit for just messing up. Even when you do well, they're insulting you. When you finish a minigame, you get the big happy music, but still, fucking amateur. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm doing my best here. Can you imagine if your regular scale acted like this?
That's obese.
Oh, come on!
Stop jumping! But hey, I do have a hard time being mad about it when I'm listening to these tunes. I haven't heard Wii Fit's music in such a long time, but as soon as I started playing, almost every theme was coming back to me. But after being fat-shamed and picking my personal trainer, I can finally get into the meat and potatoes of Wii Fit, which are the training games. They are separated into categories, which are yoga, strength, aerobics, and balance games. The first two are, well, exercises. I mean, I don't really know what else you would expect. This is an exercise game. I think we've gotten the picture that I'm not cut out for the world of the healthy. I must be closer to my natural habitat. The mini games. This is what I used Wii Fit for, like I imagine most other kids did. And surprisingly, most of them are still pretty fun. Whether it's hula hooping, going for a run, treading on a tightrope between two buildings.
Fitness.
I always really enjoyed ski jumping, or just doing nothing and seeing McScooter eat shit. The one about balancing the table is cool too, although the later rounds become impossible because of the table spinning when the balls fall off. There's jogging, and this is one of the weirder ones. It doesn't use the balance board at all. Instead, you're supposed to put the Wii remote in your pocket and it reads your jogging that way. Not gonna lie, I did start jiggling my pocket around when I got tired. I even tried other methods. No matter what though, it works as long as you don't get too crazy. This one about stepping to the beat always fucks me up. It's a lot harder than it looks. I can do well if I get into a rhythm, but I misplace my foot one time and it all just unravels. I think I'm starting to see what it meant by bad posture. As for the soccer game, I don't know why the hell there's so many people lining up to kick soccer balls at this guy's face, but this was probably the mini game I was the best at. Felt nice not to hear the sad music when I'm done. Should have named my guy Scott Sterling. On a different note, fuck the hula hoop game. I'm still bitter about this. Aside from the fact that you look like a fucking idiot while you play it, it barely ever even reads my movements. That's because the balance board isn't reading your hip movements because there's no way to do that. It's actually tracking your foot movements, and that just doesn't work most of the time. Did I mention that you look like a fucking idiot going so far out of your way just for it not to read your input? But yeah, that's all Wii Fit really is. You're supposed to just keep exercising every day until you hit the goal you set for yourself. I don't know anybody who actually used it like that though. Like, I'm sure they exist, but I never met them.
But alright, no more fucking around. I'm gonna meet that goal I set for myself, even if I have to give this everything I have to a weirdly edited montage. Jesus Christ, this is brutal. How much time did I put in? 2 minutes? Are you fucking kidding me? But that's it. I'm done. I'm just not up for the challenge. Like many things in my life, I'm just too much of a loser. You know what? No. For so long, I've sat in this very chair, looking into this very camera, and never doing what I think Wii Fit has been trying to teach me all along. Take action, become a picture of strength, of fitness, of somewhat better posture. I shall rise up from this brown chair so sunken beneath the sheer weight of my ginormous, morbidly obese ass. To stop my vast overflow of water due to the volume of my massive frame. To bitch about shitty license games, but to also be skinny while doing it. No longer. No for I, Chase Splash Zone Plays, the phantom shitter of the elementary urinals, the almighty Christ of zealous YouTubers. Never again will they turn me away at the Taco Bell door for being too wide to slip in. Never again will my hips graze the edges of the Taco Bell's oddly slim doorway, or knock up against the family of 7 eating their chalupas and saying things like, hey, can you please stop sitting directly next to us and saying things like, I know, right? After everything we say, we don't know you. You're shifting the booth. Fuck, the table is slanting. Please stand up and stop sitting next to us. That's my child's food. No, you can't have a kiss goodnight. Man, it... The fuck was I talking about?